We want the funk. Bo-do-do-do. Gotta have that funk. Kazuki here. Gold. Carlos Sofia K. Silver. Z-Dude Zyland Spams 2. Bronze. What's up, kids? How's everybody doing tonight? It's been a minute since I did a live, and I felt like I needed to make amends for that. I don't know. By the way, I'll just clear this up right out of the gate for anybody who. First of all, thank you for all of the incredible generosity that you all and many like you have continued to give to so many incredible charities and helping so many people. There's so many initiatives going on right now. So the fact that there is still so much pour out of love and generosity and charity from so many of you is just beyond awesome. For all the money that we've raised for Feeding America with the Chuck Table Read. And also helping me to raise a bunch of money for the Actors Fund through some cameos that I've done, and still some more that I'm going to do. I didn't quite understand how all that shit really worked. I mean, I did, but I didn't anticipate the demand, to be perfectly honest, at $100 a pop, and I didn't know that I had a limited amount of time to reply to them or respond to them, and now they are expiring. And I have not really had time to do them and not just speed all the way through them, which I don't think anybody really wanted. So you'll get a refund. Just because you put your $100 down, it doesn't mean you don't lose that. You get that money back if I don't end up doing that cameo. So you didn't lose anything. I'm sorry that I couldn't get you a message right now, but there'll be more opportunities similar to this, I think, in the future for charity or otherwise at conventions or stuff like that. So, and because I don't know that I'm actually going to do cameo. I don't know. I don't know. All that technology and that future and how fan and actor relate. Like I want to be respectful of everyone and also not try to be driven, motivated by as an honest and clean transaction between two people as can be. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I think this was really awesome, and I am forever grateful for the incredible pouring out of support of all of the folks that have wanted me to make a cameo. That's so cool. And so cool that we have that technology right now to even, try to do that. So, but that's that. That's the cameo update. Hello, Flynn Ryder, Eugene. Hello. That's me. Flynn Ryder. You may know me as Eugene Fitzherbert or Horace. Well, I'm glad you thought the table read was so much fun. I loved doing it. It was so fun. It was so cool to get everybody back together again. Whittier, California. What up, Whittier? How you doing? How you doing? Hello, Oregon. Oh, so now we're getting into where everybody's from. Hello, Oregon. Hello, Mexico. Thank you. I like my haircut too. I like a little high and tight. I like throwing a little, give a little length on there, but I like a little high and tight on the sides. If I don't keep this under wraps, then it becomes like a used tennis ball. That's what my head looks like at that point. I'm literally watching notifications come down. Expired cameo while I'm doing this. Sorry, not sorry. Hello, Edmonton, Canada. Dude, Vic at the table read. Vic always. See, that guy is Vicolas Sahai. Yeah, he's so mad talented. He would crack me up a lot because he had also tried to. Vic was the worst at overacting to get you to crack. He wanted to do that all the time. All the time. But I also, kind of loved it too. And I really, I think all of us in the cast, we formed such an incredible family unit and bond, and it still exists to this day. I mean, you could feel it when you watch that table read. There's a lot of love there, a lot of past and a lot of, we were fighting a war together for 5 years in the trenches together. And, it's a crazy thing doing a show like that. And you get deep and real with your cast, hopefully in that time. And we did. And There was a lot of, gnarly moments that we all were there for each other through, and just difficult times and whatever was going on in our lives or on the show or whatever. But Vic always, I feel like he never got enough time as as Lester. And I think he's just a really, really talented and funny cat. As I think of really everyone in that crew, just so many fond memories, and I'm grateful that I can get to this point in my life and be able to see it with such fondness and such love, because it was tough. And I'm not gonna lie, in the thick of it was tough. It's hard fought. There were long days, 16 hours, 17, 18-hour days. The first season we were shooting some 18-hour days. It was insane. Anyway. So, does anybody have any questions? Before we get to questions, I'm gonna ask you the question: are you loving yourself? Check yes. Check no. There should only be this one. Check that yes. Treat yourself. Most important thing to getting your life to the place you want it to be, and to getting the world to the place we all want the world to be. It starts right here, and not self-absorbed, not self-obsessed, not selfish, not self-serving, not that. It's valuing. You have to value this thing. If you're not valuing the meat bag, the meat machine, the meat machine bag that you are, fully valuing it, no matter what's going on in your life, understanding that you are still a miracle. Then you should appreciate yourself more. You should love yourself, not over love yourself, but love yourself as you ought to love yourself. And if we can do that, and I know it's difficult, I struggle with it too. I'm not saying this is like some magic wand. You can go love yourself. I've had many tears shed in my life trying to figure that out, and I still continue to shed tears trying to get to an even deeper sense and understanding of what that is. But I can guarantee you that it's real. I can guarantee you that to love oneself is an honorable thing to do. You are honoring the life that imbues you, which I think is God. Or you can, again, as I say in all my lives, or you can call it the universe, you can call it whatever you want. I personally don't think God cares so much about what you call him. I think he cares more about that you call him, or her, or it, or whatever you want to. There's a God somewhere. And that God, I believe, loves you and is in and through you and for you and for us. And I know it's all crazy and wacky, and that doesn't seem even possible in a moment like this. It seems very, how does that work? And maybe one day I'll get into deeper philosophy on all that shit, but it's kind of, I don't know that it's difficult to explain on Instagram. I just don't know if this is the proper, because you kind of want to have a little bit more give and take, I suppose, but I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts, as anyone who follows me knows. I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of this stuff, and it's a lot of thoughts that I formed after many years of absorbing a lot of these things, these ideas and dogmas and stigmas and doctrines and rules and regulations and laws and things that you think that you are supposed to abide by because your parents told you you're supposed to abide by this, and you don't question your parents. You don't. Very rarely do, particularly when we're children. We don't question our parents. We don't. I mean, unless we're little shits and we're being little shits. But the way the world works is pretty much, formed by what our parents predominantly, and then some people beyond them, tell us what the world is. And that's what we do. And it's important that we are appreciative that our parents are trying, and in whatever way they think they are at least trying to help you. But it's still upon us to go and, I believe, interrogate. Not interrogate like, but interrogate in the scientific sense of the word. Interrogate all of the things that you think you believe. Get to the bottom of them. Ask yourself, why do I believe these things? Do I believe them because genuinely I believe them, or do I believe them because somebody else has told me to believe them? And those could be your parents, and they could be lovely people, and you might love them, and they love you, and they could be entirely wrong. Entirely. And if they are wrong, you don't need to love them any less. In fact, even if they're wrong and they're assholes about it, you don't need to love them any less. You just need to create better boundaries so that their assholeness doesn't spill on top of you and start beating you up, because that's not good either. Anyway, I digress. What else we got for questions? Question everything. Yeah, yes, question everything. I don't think God, as somebody who believes in God, I don't think God has any problem with that at all. I think that a lot of people have ascribed a hubris to God and kind of for a long time that I don't necessarily agree with. I don't know. Like the saying that God is a jealous God, I've heard it explained in certain ways that kind of make sense. But at the end of the day, I really don't think God is concerned with all of the shit that we think God is concerned with, that we concern ourselves with. God is present in an infinite amount of realities and dimensions, if there's such thing as a God. So I don't think that God is worried about it all, because God sees it all happening at the same time. It's all great. It's good. We're good, guys. We just have to love each other more. That seems to be the resonating message that we keep missing, I think. Philosopher and teacher after philosopher and teacher, there are so many of these things pointing to, why are you not loving the very creation that I have already made love? We are made this way. We are light, and we are life and light and love. And we need to accept that about each other and embrace that about each other and encourage that into one another. And stop judging on the basis of a lot of other things that we all judge, that we all do. What kind of purse do they have? What kind of phone do they have? What kind of car do they drive? What kind of house do they live in? How attractive are they per whatever our modern, understanding of beauty is or handsomeness is, versus 20 years ago, versus 100 years ago, versus 2,000 years ago. Like what the subjectiveness of all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I could keep going on rants. I mean, that's basically what these are, aren't they? Self-love, mental health. Let's talk about life, baby, rants. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like I've heard explanations of his jealousy. He's jealous for our love, and trust. And I do think that's from who says that? Brooke Buchanan. Thank you for chiming in, Brooke. That's what I've heard. And again, that's something that I have found myself in my journey as someone who kind of came through the Christian root of, or not Christian root, but branch, let's say, of this concept of God and all. I didn't question a lot of things were just like, oh, that's what you just said. Like, well, this is what it means. God is jealous of our love and our attention. And it's said in such a way that's so matter of fact and very real and very believed in by whoever tells you. I don't think people are lying. I don't think religions are full of a bunch of liars necessarily. Any religion. I think all religions have a lot of liars in them, unfortunately, that are taking advantage of whatever the original message is. But most religions aren't full of liars. They're full of a lot of zealous people who actually really believe what that stuff is, and therefore they teach us in that way. They are very earnest in how they teach it, which is another reason why we don't decide to second guess a lot of that stuff. But I have second guessed a lot of that stuff, or just decided to, again, interrogate it a little bit more, look at it a little bit more, and I have a hard time. I don't know, the way in which we personify God so easily humanly, I don't like. And I understand the human of, or the person of Jesus in the Christian faith, and he was God and wasn't God. He was both man and God, and all of that in the Trinity in the context. I understand like that, but I'm not talking about the humanizing in that form. I'm talking about just in the anthropomorphic way that we humanize God, that I think is quite unbelievably arrogant of us. And people say, but it says in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and he created man in his image. Look, guys, I don't know what to say to that other than I don't think personally that we ought to hold so strictly to words that, while I believe that the Bible is still the most accurate manuscript of antiquity, and an incredible resource and full of all kinds of wisdom, I don't know that we can take particularly a lot of Old Testament, that's the oldest of Old Testament, is Genesis, and to take those words at such a literal definition, I think, is folly. I think we're putting God in a really weird box at that point, and that we ought not do that. We ought not think of this potential force, Star Wars force, that is in and through all things and that is above and outside of all things, that somehow they have decided in all of their magnificence that they want to take on our form, but or that they chose that first and then we are in their form. I think we are a form of God, as just as anything that's alive is a form of God. Anyway, those are my feelings. I know a lot of other religious friends of mine disagree with me on a lot of this stuff, particularly a lot of my Christian friends, and that's okay. But I don't think anybody is trying to shame me if they disagree with me. I know a lot of us, disagree about certain things, but I think if you're going to believe in the concept of a God, you should probably believe in its absolute unbelievable immeasurableness and majesty. And I think we as people with our manuscripts, we think we can kind of put some parameters around God. It's like, this is how God acts and this is what God does. And yes, there are some incredible stories, and I do think there are constants that we can find about God in manuscripts, and not even just in the Bible. I think that there are constants that have been acknowledged about the concept of God and seen about and witnessed by people of different faiths for many, many centuries and millennia. Even, and there's been a lot of collaboration between religions on who God is or what God is for many millennia as well. But to even presume to think that we know anything about what is unknowable, like what? I mean, that is the hubris of man. That is the hubris of man. Jerry Seinfeld, I love this Jerry Seinfeld joke. He's talking about like the moon landings and stuff. And he goes, he talks about how they brought like the buggy up there, the moon buggy. And he goes, there is no more male idea in the history of man than let's fly up to the moon and drive around a little while. That makes me laugh so much. Every time. All right, what else we got? Yeah, well, I don't know that trying to understand God is the hubris of man. I don't think that trying is necessarily hubris. I think it's the motivation behind why we try. If we're trying because we want to be outside of that or think that we can be above it or not accountable to it, or however we think we're going to outsmart God, I don't think that that's good trying. I think trying to understand and be educated and enlightened, that requires a lot of trying and a lot of work and a lot of work that you do on yourself and work you do outside of yourself. And there's a lot of trying involved in that. And I don't think that's the hubris of man. I actually think that is the longing of man. I think that is a perfect example, actually, of the communion between our Creator and us. We can feel that deep down in us. In Christianity, they call it that God-shaped hole that only God can fill. Or that's, it's an example or kind of a metaphor that people use. But I want to try all the time. I mean, I should, I don't think we ought to be trying all the time. I just, I don't know. I want to do the work, but the good work, the right work, the work that's going to help me become a better individual and help other people become better individuals and the world become a better world. Don't we all want to do that? Can't we all just do that? Let's all just do that. I can't wait for Shazam 2 either. Do we want any karaoke songs? I have brought my trusty iPad. I've not warmed up, so could sound absolutely crap. Probably not, though. Who am I kidding? Honestly, my voice has been a little, it's been a little jacked, a little phlegmy and worn out. But I've also been talking so much. I've actually been quite busy in all this pandemic time, which is odd to think of, I suppose. I don't know. The world's so upside down. It's very difficult to get a bearing on what's what's normal in such an abnormal time. What should you feel? What shouldn't you feel? Which is just another reason why we ought to stop even trying to guilt ourselves and do what are we supposed to feel versus what we're not supposed to feel. And we should let anybody else experience this as exactly the way that they are experiencing it right now, and everybody's going to experience it different. But okay, I got 2 Fly Me to the Moon, so I'll do a Fly Me to the Moon. And I know the lyrics, but I'm just gonna maybe look them up just in case, because it's been a long day. Also, I am toward the end of a 24-hour fast, solid food fast. I only had some green tea with collagen today. I don't remember the last time I ever went 24 hours without eating food. It's fascinating. And I built up, just FYI, I did build up to it. Like I was doing some intermittent fasting kind of leading up to it. But I don't even remember the last time I ever didn't eat for 24 hours. Certainly intentionally. But because of my gut stuff and everything, I thought, well, maybe I'll just starve it out if there's some parasite or something in there. So hopefully it does some good. All right, let's do Fly Me to the Moon. Guys, I like this time that we get to spend together. This is fun. This is good. Just the 1,398 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 1,412 of us. You. You and I. Fly me to the moon. Fly me to it. Yeah, fly. I think that's around that. What I'm working on is actually getting some friends of mine who are musicians to come and quarantine with me. And so we can actually start doing proper music and stuff, and just recording it and sending it out to you guys, and starting to just create more and figure out how to do life in this weird time of quarantine. But I guess specifically speaking for those in my shoes in the entertainment industry, which is just so weird. We're all just sitting around for months, and then nothing's getting made. So got to try and figure out how to be resourceful and creative. All right, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Whoa, in other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum, fill my heart with a song, and let me sing forevermore. Dun, dun, dun. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, oh, please be true. Oh, in other words, oh, in other words, I love you. Hey, that's what's up. I just I'm singing Sinatra. Why are you telling me to sing Sinatra when I'm already singing Sinatra? What are we doing? Are you trying to, is this like I'm stuck in a loop or something? Am I in a loop? My accent is so different when I'm singing versus talking. Well, I mean, I suppose. I guess there's some truth to that. But I think that's partly just because I sing the way I think it sounds best in whatever that style of music is. Your diction changes even depending on how you're trying to pronounce words in order to even hit a certain note. You pronounce vowels differently and stuff. You support it more with your diaphragm. All that jazz. So all that jazz. So that is going to make your voice sound like, and also like my speaking voice is just, I don't know. It's garbage. I don't support it correctly. I don't know. I think it's probably posture stuff too, but thank you. I guess. Yes. I sing different. If I'm singing like this, like, Sinatra big band stuff, that's going to sing different, sing different. That's going to sing different. That's going to sound different than if I'm singing like some Motown versus if I'm singing some rock versus if I'm singing some blues or I don't know, pop. Although my voice still has its own, kind of like I suppose that's Zach. It doesn't change that much, but I try to accommodate it to the genre as best I can. Cause I don't think, you can't be doing like Johnny Cheese, singing lounge voice for pop songs or rock songs and stuff. I try not to. If I'm doing that, then I'll stop. I'm trying not to make everything sound like that. I don't know. Let Me Make You Proud. What is Let Me Make You Proud? I don't know what song that is. I will say one phrase of Shazam if you spell phrase correctly next time. I promise I will do that. It's wonderful. That's not garbage. Thank you. I appreciate that. My eyebrows do look good, don't they? That, my friend, was a fortunate encounter with a woman earlier in my career who was kind of like a pseudo manager of sorts. I used to have like some, little, not like full on unibrow, but inching into that. And so she was like, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just keep an eye on it, give it a little cleaning. So that was that. How much of Chuck was ad-lib? A lot. Yeah. I honestly couldn't tell you a percentage. I mean, our writers are responsible for 95.999% of those words in story. Story, certainly, obviously, and all the plot and all that jazz. And I'm really grateful that they trusted us with their scripts and trusted us with our characters and those words. And we got to, move around in those roles, which was a lot of fun. Toss a coin to my Witcher. What does that mean? And what happens if I don't? Oh, you know what? A song I was working on. Harold, let me do this. Oh, come on. Crane. Creeps. Nope. That's not what I'm looking for. That's the one I'm looking for. Boop. Come on. Yeah, that's the one I want right there. I love this song so much. What's the key? I don't know what the key. I might screw this up because I don't know what key to sing it in. Well, my friends, the time has come to raise the roof and have some fun. Throw away the work to be done. Let the music play on, play on, play on, play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to party, Karamu, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along. Oh yeah, party, Karamu, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing along. Ba 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 ba. All night long, all night, all night. All night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night, all night, all night long. And then I'm off in it. People dancing, I'll just do that bit. I love that song so much. I think I might like do a cover of that or something. I think that could be really fun. And then the other one, of course, is is Easy, which I think I tried to even sing the other day or something, but I completely lost the plot on it. Shocker. No, it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Do 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 do. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, I know I've done all I can. See, I begged and stole and I borrowed. Down, down. It's why I'm easy. Boom, 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 boom. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Dun, 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 dun. Why I'm easy. Yeah. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Dun, 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 dun. I wanna get high. I won't get into that. So high. I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. Oh, I wanna be free. Just me. Baby, baby, boom. It's just so good. It's so good. Lionel. He's such a huge part of the soundtrack of my childhood. All right. How much time we got? I really wish there was a timer on these damn things before you get the 2-minute warning. It just doesn't seem fair. I don't play guitar. I wish I played guitar. I wish I played any instrument. I don't. But I'd like to learn. I keep threatening that I'm going to learn one of them while we're in quarantine, but I've just been so slammed with all kinds of other stuff and a lot of good stuff too that I hope to tell everybody, sooner rather than later. But what kind of people am I looking for at Wildwood? Well, at the moment, no one, or not no one, but it's not open to the public yet. So as far as building out, who could visit, that's on hold, until further notice. I was planning on, going and working on some films and stuff and being busy. And I was going to try and open this, my ranch up to be an adventure glamping resort and like events and festival grounds. And now I can't do glamping, nor can I do any kind of events or festivals. So that didn't really, that took an L. COVID had us all take a really hard L, guys. So that, but that just wasn't, that wasn't meant to be. And now we're pivoting, I think, in a really lovely way. And we're going to go still try to figure out how to do some cool shit and involve you guys as much we can. I mean, maybe not in person, but creating content, bringing you in on the process of creating that content, documenting it all, making movies with other random people that might show up. And I don't know. I want to go have fun for the next 4+ months of all of us sitting around and just finding a bunch of groovy people to do that with. And hopefully they're people that you like, and, we'll make a little short film and it's a couple of people like, well, what the hell? I can't believe they, it's like, yeah, just go put on a show. Go put on a show. Cause you know what? That's your damn job as an entertainer. And particularly when there's no content, go put on a show. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put on my big boy pants and I'm going to put on a show. Plot twist. Oh, yeah, the convention. Yeah, I do love going to conventions and meeting fans. How do I feel COVID will affect all of this? Well, so the folks over at Left Field, who do quite a few different conventions. I did Rose City with them. I was about to do Awesome Con. And I'm pretty sure, Awesome Con in DC. And So yeah, they're trying to figure out, like everybody's trying to figure out, what do they do in the interim, at least to just keep people, bring joy to people and stuff. And they're doing a cool thing, and I'm working with them on doing a little, kind of a virtual convention of sorts, but you'll get details on that soon, I think. And a lot of other people are trying to figure out how to do a virtual convention, myself included. And that's something I've been noodling on for years, even outside of a pandemic, because I just thought, if you were to, if I could be at home almost, and I could, you have whatever the highest level of technology and throw on like a, VR headset, and you can go meet. We could sit down at a virtual table and we can talk. And you'd like a virtual, signature and a virtual photo or whatever, and whatever that price is. I don't know. But it's, I was already thinking about kind of fun ways to be able to still be in places when you couldn't physically be there. And now we actually have to answer that question for real. So I don't know. I don't know, folks. I just don't know. I do not know. It's very dodgy at the moment, isn't it? I have tried the Oculus Rift. I've enjoyed that. I own an Oculus, but it's an older one, and I've gotten recently a brand new HTC Vive, which is super dope. Yes, AwesomeCon is rescheduled to December. You are absolutely correct, and I'm going to try and get there in December if I'm available. But they're still going to do this kind of fun thing coming up soon, so just stay tuned for that. How do you decorate your text? What does that mean? What does it mean to decorate a text? Can I tell a joke? Yeah, sure. So this guy walks into a bar. This guy has a giant round orange head. Very odd. And walks up to the bar and up to the bartender and says, "I'd like to order a drink." And the bartender's, kind of looking at it. He's like, "Whiskey?" He's trying to make the whiskey. "Sir, can I ask you a question? I don't mean to bug you, and I'm sure people might ask you this, but here's your drink. What's with the giant round orange head?" "Yeah, well, it's actually a pretty simple and quick story. Essentially, I was walking along on the beach, minding my own business, stumbled upon a lamp of some sort, rubbed it, genie pops out, Avi, gives me 3 wishes. My first wish, I wished for all the money in the world. That's where all this money came from, just pouring out cash everywhere. My second wish, I wished for the woman of my dreams, and this is where she came from. Shows a little picture of his wife on the phone. And for my third wish, and I'm pretty sure this is where I went wrong, I wished for a giant round orange head." Funny, right? If you didn't get that joke, we can't be friends. If you did get that joke, we're going to run off into the sunset together. That was also a joke as told by both Drew Carey and Robin Williams, I think, in the movie The Aristocrats. It's one of my favorite jokes. I love it so much. It reminds me of the joke, because it's got that stupid, it's a last-minute deadpan kind of whatever. But it reminds me of that joke where it's like, there's two pancakes getting fried up in a griddle, and one pancake turns to the other and says, "Whoa, my God, it's hot in here." And then the other pancake says, "You can talk?" I love that joke so much. Any other song requests? The Aristocrats is dirty. That is true. That movie is dirty. There's a lot of dirty movies. Come on, guys. What do we got? Come on. What are we doing? See, that was funny, right? There's another one. This salesman walks up to a house. This has one F-bomb in it, so if you got kids around and you want to earmuff them. The salesman's going door to door. He comes up to this house, knocks on the door. Door opens. And there's like a 7-year-old standing there in his underoos, his dad's robe, sunglasses, lit pipe. And then he looks up at the door-to-door salesman and says, "Can I help you?" And the salesman says, I'm sorry, are your parents home? And the kid looks at him and says, "What the fuck do you think?" I can't. It gets me every day. The visual of this little 7-year-old just smoking in the house. His parents are gone somewhere, just doing his life. The fuck do you think, buddy? Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for whoever asked me to tell the joke, because that really just made me laugh a lot. What else, guys? Come on. Should we talk more philosophy? What do we want to dive into? The election, that old chestnut. By the way, I honestly, I don't know if you guys are interested or not. Eat pupusas. Okay, dang, that seems pretty specific. I've talked about this before, but I want to put together a podcast that'll be something similar to this, I suppose. But there'll be call-ins, listener call-ins and whatnot, and also just like getting to the bottom of things. I just want to be able to like have a conversation with like the highest level of professionals on both sides of one issue that vehemently disagree with each other, but can never be put in the same place long enough to go over the full argument and find out who's actually right and who's not, and what information that they're using that might be bunk or not. I just would love to have that, and and just have people give people enough time to really say what they need to say about an issue, whatever that is, and so we can all just be edified in that, and I don't know, talk about deeper things, but. How do I remain grounded? I mean, I don't know. Prayer, probably. And just trying to daily remind myself to walk in humility, gratitude, and trust. I think those are not the only pillars, but I as I kind of dove into these concepts and, I don't know. If I believe in an all-powerful creator and author of all that is, how do you approach such a thing? And I think you have to do it in that way, and maybe even in that order. You have to approach it humbly. You have to know that this world is not about you. This life isn't even about you. You are an extension of this life, but it's not about you. It's not about any of us. We're all infinitely small specks of dust in an infinitely large mosaic made of infinitely small pieces of dust. And and we're going to come and go, guys. There's no real like infinite memoriam. 10,000 years from now, nobody's going to know who the fuck any of us are. 2,000 years from now, nobody's going to know who the fuck any of us are. Some people will be a footnote in history, but most people will be unknown. You're not going to carry it on with you. You got to do the best you can right now. Right now. And how freeing is that? Stop worrying about being immortalized and start worrying about just loving yourself and loving people, and let it be as simple as that. I think. I hope. Yeah. But yeah, so humility, I think, is the first step, and because the next step is gratitude, I think. By the way, I don't know. These things could be interchangeable too. These are just kind of some of my thoughts as I've thought about a lot of these things. But I think you have to start with humility, because you got to hit your knees. You have to say it's not about me, and I'm not in control. Before anything can happen beyond that. If you're still struggling with the fucking steering wheel, if you're like, I got it. God's like, okay, great, go steer it off a cliff. It's okay. I'm still going to be there at the bottom of that cliff in whatever way, shape, or not. Excuse me. Hear me out. Don't actually go drive off any cliffs. I'm talking about metaphoric cliffs, and I'm not suggesting that God is going to just catch you if you decide to go drive off an actual cliff. Please don't do that. Now that we've established that, God allows us, I think, that freedom to go and wrestle within our own life, and he's not going to and I say, by the way, I say he as a catch-all because that's kind of what we have always used, at least in Christianity and the modern parlance of religions and all that jazz. But I don't personally think that God is a he. I think God is an all. God is all things. There's feminine energy to God and male energy to God and everything in between, because there is all of those things there as we're being evidenced, as we see some form of in nature. So that has to be accounted for within the lattice work and the all that is God, as far as I'm concerned, philosophically or even scientifically speaking. If you were to apply some kind of a science to that thing, that's just logic, I think. But I'm now tangented, and now I can't remember what we were talking about. But at any rate, I think it's important that you humble yourself to that energy, and then you reflect immediately upon the fact that you are a miracle, and you are on a planet that is a miracle, and you are surrounded by other miracles. We are all walking miracles, and so are the squirrels, and so are the nuts that they eat, and so is anything that has any life in it whatsoever. It is a fucking miracle, and we should be treating all these miracles as such and caring more about them and putting value into them than putting value into all of the nonsense that we are programmed constantly to believe is more valuable, which it is not, which is material possessions, which we don't need that many of. We really don't. We can share a lot of that stuff. We can all live a much healthier, happier life if we weren't constantly consumed with acquiring and then being burdened down by a bunch of shit that we don't need. My humble opinion, my 2 cents on that. So, and that gratitude, I think, is an incredibly transformative power. I think humility is an incredible transformative power. And then gratitude out of that humility is an incredibly transformative power. And then as you are being grateful, you've humbled yourself, you are grateful for what you have, whatever that is, and practice that gratitude, then out of that, to then extend your trust back to this entity, this universe, this energy, this God. Again, however you want to slice it. And I know a lot of my Christian friends or other friends in other religions who believe that they're very strictly monotheistic, and that it's our way or the highway. And I understand why they believe those things, and I don't pretend to even have all the answers, but I just have a hard time believing that a God who loves us infinitely, that separates sin from us, darkness from us, east as far as the east is from west, that loves us even in our broken and, let's say, wicked sensibilities, and did all of that before did all that before all of us ever existed on this planet, and in this reality. I have a hard time believing that, neither principalities nor powers can separate you from the love of God, but not knowing the exact right magic words to say when you might pray might somehow separate you from that love. I have a really hard time grasping with that concept. And I wrestle with it still, and I have conversations with many people about it, but I don't believe personally that God is being that sensitive, insecure, arrogant. These are all words I do not ascribe do I think pertain to the entity that is God. And I think only an entity that would be insecure would be an entity that needed you to acknowledge it in a way that I think a lot of religions say, well, you have to acknowledge God like this. And I really don't think God, again, I said it earlier in this, I'm not saying that God doesn't, if God cares, which I'm not sure that God cares even that far, because I think there's so much shit going on well beyond all of our comprehensions in space, time, and all that jazz. But if God even actually cared about things, I would imagine that God cares less about what we call him, as if we're ever going to actually figure out what all of the names that could pertain to this infinite entity. I think that entity would, if it cares less about that and more about if we are loving each other, if we are loving ourselves, if we are loving that entity. love and love and more love and more love and more love, and then and more love and more and more love. Amen and hallelujah. And I can't wrap my head around, I can't reconcile so many things that I've found in my own journey, in my own Christianity, and also understanding other things in other religions that I can't reconcile and I don't understand. But I can reconcile every bit of those religions that actually did at one point, I think, have a connection to a creator that loved them and was for them and was trying to get us around, unfortunately, at a time when we were all superstitious, afraid of one another and tribal and regional, and we didn't want to build on that stuff, and we've all been hating each other and fearing each other for so long, guys, and that's got to end. We don't even have a choice anymore. You don't have a choice to be afraid of another people group in the world. I mean, let me rephrase. You have a choice to do whatever the hell you want. It's your life. I would argue that the information needed to be afraid of a lot of the people that we have come to be afraid of doesn't exist anymore, because we don't have these somehow like non-areas of information anymore. The world is canvassed in data and information. We see people in living color, in real time, anytime we want to, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and whatever. We have one virus to kill them all. We've got one floating around the world right now, and we're all having to do the same shit, which means we're all the same meat bag, guys. Get underneath the color of your skin and the sound that words make when they come out of your native tongue, and whatever your prescribed faith might be or your sexuality might be. Get under all of that stuff, and we're all the same meat bag, and we're all the same. And we have to, that's a beautiful thing. That's a thing to acknowledge and embrace and say, I know we're different. There's definitely differences. I'm not saying every aspect of us is the same, but deep down, the core, the thing that all of us have been, literally songs that I learned in Bible school and, in Sunday school when I was a kid. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Like what? Even as a child, you understood that there is none of that judgment that can even be assessed to you because of the color of your skin. And yet, there are plenty of people that are still doing that very thing. And there are people that call themselves Christians or followers of Jesus or whatever that have a lot of racism still bent into them. And I'll tell you something. I don't think we ought to go shame those people or hate those people. We ought to love those people. Those are the people that need the love to say, hey, you can hate me all you want. It's not going to affect me because I know that hate is only coming out of fear. And I will love you through that. Have boundaries. By the way, guys, a lot of people have asked me these questions on social media before. How can you fully love somebody and still have the boundaries? Because love and boundaries are two completely different things. You can love someone and not like them entirely. You can love someone and not let them into your life in any way, shape, or form. Love is not graduated like. Love is a different concept entirely. It is a choice that you are making, an active choice you are making to value the person that you are evaluating in that moment. And to say, you know what, I'm choosing to love that person. I'm choosing to believe that their worst behavior that comes out of them is merely an expression of how they are dealing with their own trauma that they have faced in their life at some point. And if we can start looking at each other like that and having that kind of grace and looking at each other as if, oh God, we're really not all that different, in that humility, and then start trusting each other. A lot of the same themes, guys. But yeah, so, fully love people, but have whatever boundaries you need to have. And if they can't respect them, anybody who has good self-esteem and good love in them, they might totally disagree with somebody else's boundaries, but they're not going to be like, I can't believe, they're not going to do that. People who are like level-headed and love themselves and are like cool and collected and like, not thrown back and forth by their emotions or whatever that is. If you were to come to them and say, listen, I can't do this anymore. I need my personal time. What they're going to go, cool, great. Do whatever you got to do. And then you'll be like, oh, well, they're not fighting me on it. Yeah, because they're not going to do that. You're saying, unless you're saying that because you really want them to fight back, which, by the way, ask yourself, are you one of those types of people who is going and doing little snipes, hoping that you'll get a reaction that makes you feel more valued and loved. You go, I don't want to do this thing. Well, I did it. Oh, now, and because a lot of people find worth and love in friction and fighting, which is, go check into that stuff. It's very real and it's very unhealthy. But it's Chuck. Oh, 8-minute warning. Is it really an 8-minute warning? Thank you. That's how we do it. Somebody's just got to tell me what the time is on it. Let's start a wave. Okay. And go. We're going to make it around the globe, guys. We're going to wave all the way around the globe. Which way are we going? I feel like we're going across the U.S. So now we're like eastern seaboard. Now we're skirting over the Atlantic. Kind of at a strange place, but we're going to skirt over. We're going to come up almost like an Indiana Jones plane. We're going to hit like Casablanca, boop, and then we're going to go over and we're going to cruise over Europe and hit like a little London, boop, Paris, boop. We're now we're into Eastern Europe. Yep. Now we're heading over the steppe, kind of right in the center of Asia there, just above India, right through Mongolia, China, Russia, and out of China, coming through, no COVID, we checked, and through Los Angeles, and don't forget Phoenix, and now, damn it, there wasn't a direct flight to Austin. We had to stop in Dallas, and we gotta wait 45 minutes. Okay, now we're home. What else we got? What else we doing, guys? Man, this green tea is keeping me going. I am delirious. Well, I just sang some Sinatra, Haley. Oh. Well, we didn't make it to Australia because we took the northern route. I went kind of through the center of Asia and then out China, and then just straight over to North America. It's not that I didn't want to stop in Australia. We just didn't have the time. Next time. Sing what? What do you want me to sing? Sing! Great, what do you want? What? Oh man, I'm so tired. Aside from the fact that I've been fasting all day, I'm also running on like 2 hours of sleep, which is super weird. I could not get to sleep last night, so I'm hoping this super tiredness is about to knock me out. More Dixie chicks. Okay. I don't think I did this. This is also a heartbreaking song. This is a heartbreaking song. But it's so good. It's so good. Oh, I better do this quick. I don't know how much time I have left. Let's see. What the hell is that song? Oh, man. Sometimes I wake up crying at night. Somebody help me with that. And sometimes I scream out your name. What right does he have to take you away when for so long? I think that was even a cover that they did too. That might not have been an original of theirs. Dixie Chicks. Nope. Stay? Is that what it is? Stay, Dixie Chicks. Oh. You were mine. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Did I already sing? I feel like I already did this one. Yeah. Did I already do this one? Sorry. I don't know. Whatever. I'll try and get through a little bit of it anyway. Again, very sad song. Very sad song, but beautiful. I can't find a reason to let go, even though you found a new love, and he's what your dreams are made of. I can find a reason to hang on. What went wrong can be forgiven. Without you, it ain't worth living alone. Sometimes I wait. Sometimes I wake up crying at night. And sometimes I scream out your name. What right does he have to take you away when for so long you were mine? I took out all the pictures of our wedding day. It was a time of love and laughter and happy ever afters. Even those old pictures have begun to fade. Please tell me he's not real and that you're really coming home to stay. Dum, 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 dum. Sometimes I wake up crying at night, and sometimes I scream out your name. What right does he have to take your heart away when for so long you were mine? Dum, dum, dum. I can give you 2 good reasons to show you love's not blind. He's 2 and she's 4, and you know they adore you. So why can I tell them you've changed your mind? Key change. Sometimes I wake up crying at night, and sometimes I scream out your name. What right does he have to take your heart away when for so long you were mine? I remember when you were mine. What am I? My dog's scratching himself, but it sounds like he's applauding me. Anyway, I love that song. I mean, right? It's a beautiful song, isn't it? It's just a great song. All right, well, apparently I had more than 8 minutes, because I feel like we've gone longer than 8 minutes, so maybe we're getting